Hello, my name is Ricky Porter, and I'm doing a television series for Channel 35, and it is called At Home in Dublin with Ricky Porter. I wanted to do this television series because Dublin has been very good to me, and I've learned a lot as a result of living here in Dublin. Today, I'm at Dublin High School, and I am interviewing two students, Garner Gay and Blake Richardson. I've known Blake for a while, and I met Garner. She didn't know it, but she was a candidate for the Miss Distinguished Woman program. Did I get that correct?
Distinguished Young Woman, yes, sir.
Distinguished Young Woman program. And she actually won that program. She did a very good job.
Thank you.
Both of these students are at Dublin High School. And what grade are you in?
I'm in the 11th grade.
The 11th grade. And what about you, Blake?
I am a senior this year.
You are a senior this year, okay. And what are your plans after graduation?
I am thinking of attending AMBA. It's a school in New York.
AMBA?
Yes.
What does AMBA stand for?
The American...
Music?
No, it's... I'm trying to remember, but...
Okay. Well, what will you be studying?
Voice.
Voice. So it must be a school of music of some kind.
Yes, sir.
And do you know where it's located in New York?
I think Lower Manhattan.
Lower Manhattan.
And I'm trying to arrange a living situation with my uncle.
Okay, very good. Very good, good. And you're a junior, Garner.
Yes, sir.
Is that correct? Right. And you plan to go to college as well?
Yes, sir. I'm not quite sure where I want to go yet, but I really like Auburn University. That's where my mom went, so I've grown up loving the school and taking tours of the school, and so I've just kind of fallen in love with it over the years.
Where's Auburn University?
It's in Auburn, Alabama.
Auburn, Alabama.
Yes, sir.
Is your mother from Alabama?
Yes, sir. She grew up in Montgomery, actually.
Do you know your principal is from Alabama?
I do.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, right. I would like to know how Dublin High School has prepared you to become citizens of the world, how it has prepared you to move away from Dublin, to go to college, to better yourself as young men and women, how you can make a contribution to the world. So just for a moment, think about one thing that you've gotten from Dublin High School beyond your education, beyond learning about economics and mathematics and social studies and geography, beyond the academics. What have you received from Dublin High School that makes you prepared to go out into the world and to be citizens of the United States of America? Starting with Garner.
I'd have to say probably one of the biggest things that I've gotten from Dublin High School is just all the teachers' help. Like, they have been so encouraging, and they've taught me, first of all, not just more about math or more about social studies. They've taught me how to be a better person and how to handle myself in the real world and how to manage my time and do everything that I'll need first in college and then in the job market in the real world. And so I can't thank them enough. They've all just been fantastic.
Very good. Do you have a favorite? Well, putting you on the spot there, huh?
I don't like to pick favorites.
Okay,
I really don't.
Okay. So you've enjoyed all of your teachers?
I really have, genuinely.
So they have prepared you to learn how to manage your time and to move on to the world. Very good. So what about you, Blake? How has Dublin High School prepared you beyond academics to go out into the world and be a great citizen?
Well, almost to piggyback off of what she said, I mean, the teacher help has been invaluable because, I mean, they're there with you day to day, and it's not particularly like a large school, but it does have a large, I don't really know how to say it, but
a large community of supporters.
It's a lot of support in the school, and it's you always feel comfortable.
Now you relocated to Dublin, correct? So you've been in Dublin 2 years.
2 years.
So you've been a student at Dublin for 2 years, and you, Garner, were you in Dublin Middle School?
I moved to Dublin Middle School in 6th grade, and I will actually, my family's lived in Dublin for I don't know how long.
Okay.
I will be a 4th generation Dublin High School graduate.
Is
so we've been here
right?
for a while.
Is that right?
Yes, sir.
So from Dublin Middle School, you entered Dublin High School. Okay. Very
Yes, sir.
good. So you all like Dublin High School?
Oh, yes, sir, very much.
You're not anxious to get out of here. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think I'm ready for what the world has in store, of course, but you also have to appreciate your time where you are now because you never know, like, how quickly it's going to be gone and you never get it back.
Very good. You're absolutely correct. If you were to be able to give something back to your peers, to say, this is what I've learned, if you were to take this as, if you were to take this as a gift, it'll help you along the way. And I like for it to be something, let's say, not materialistic, something of a spiritual nature. For example, if I were to be able to go back to my high school, I would encourage the students there to listen more carefully. I was always so busy talking, trying to be the class clown.
Yes, sir.
That's not hard to believe, is it? That I didn't always pay attention as much as I ought to. So I would encourage students to pay attention. So what would you offer as a gift to your peers at Dublin High School, something that would help them to be better students? You've talked about being better citizens in the world, how Dublin has prepared you in that way. But how can you give a gift back to the students? What would that be? Sorry.
That's fine.
I think a very important one would be to learn what you can while you can, and always take and sponge the advice that you get from pretty much everybody, because it can only help.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And to kind of like piggyback onto what he said, if I could tell them one thing, it'd honestly be to just appreciate the community that we live in now and the school that we're in, because, like I said earlier, you never get it back, and you never know how much you're going to miss it until it's gone. And I feel like it's one of those things we don't realize how much we are actually given being in like a smaller school and getting the one-on-one help that we do. And like you're not going to get that when you go off to a large university or anything like that. So I think that's something I would tell them, to just appreciate what we have and love it while you have it.
So appreciate the school while you're there and learn what you can learn. Very good. So I'm going to ask a tough question, and I want an honest answer. What's your grade point average? Starting with Blake, what's your grade point average?
I actually do not know at this moment, but I did make honor roll, and
You did make the honor roll.
I am on track to make it this year.
And you're on track to make it this year. Very good. Now, Garner Gay.
Okay, being 100% honest, I do not know
No, you could be 99.5%.
Okay,
honest.
that's better actually. I do not know my exact grade point average.
Okay.
I am pretty much always near the top of my class, and I know right now that most of my grades are either A's or like very high B's, especially the honors class. Like the honors classes, we get quality points, and so without those added, then I have like a high B or A's in all my classes.
So you're in the honors program?
Yes, sir.
Matter of fact, I remember now, I was at the prom. I saw you at the prom. Aren't you the salutatorian?
That's actually my best friend, and we look really similar.
Yeah, you sure do.
But yeah, she's the salutatorian of this
her
class,
name?
Bailey Versprilly.
Are you jealous of her? No.
I'm very proud of her, actually.
Good.
She's worked
Very
really
good.
hard for this, and she definitely deserves it.
Very good. Okay. So you're probably a high B.
Without the quality points that we get for our AP and honors classes, I probably have a high B, but with them, I have an A, most definitely.
Okay. Oh, most definitely.
I work very hard for my
Unequivocally.
grades. I really do. I work hard for my
I bet
grades.
you do. Very good. Well, you're great students, and I'm sure that you will make a contribution to the world, and I'm sure you have made a contribution to Dublin High School. I've enjoyed talking to you. Why don't you say something to the television audience?
Hello, television audience. I'd just like to take this time to thank everyone for watching and for giving me this opportunity to tell y'all how much I love my school and my community, because I really do.
Very good. Blake?
Well, I'd like to say thank you as well. I'd like to thank certain people, but I wouldn't want to forget anybody. So I want to say thank you to Mr. Porter for inviting us today.
Very good. Thank you. But now we're going to talk to the principal of Dublin High School, a friend of mine, fellow servant in ministry, and a student here at Dublin High School, Mr. Robert Hunter, the school's principal, and Mr. T.J. Patharaju. Now you say it.
Patharaju.
Patharaju.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we want to talk a little bit about your background from India.
Yes, sir.
Good. But I want to start with Mr. Hunter. Hello, sir.
Hello, Dr. Porter.
How are you?
I'm doing great.
Good, good. It's good to have you here.
Great being
I've
here.
been wanting to talk to you for quite some time. How long have you been at Dublin High School now?
I'm finishing my 4th year.
You're finishing your 4th year.
Yes, sir.
Wow.
Yeah.
4 years in Dublin and 4 years as principal.
Yeah,
Has Dublin been good to you?
it's been great.
Okay.
Great. I don't regret one moment coming to Dublin High School. It's been, well, I won't say it's been because I hope to be here a bit longer, but I've thoroughly enjoyed my time here at Dublin High School.
Now, am I correct that you came from Mobile, Alabama?
Montgomery, Alabama.
Montgomery, Alabama. And that's also where the superintendent is from?
The superintendent is from Alabama, however, not Montgomery.
Okay.
He was from a little town not too far from Montgomery, if I can recall, between Montgomery and Auburn, but I
Okay.
can't recall the name of it right now.
And what is the superintendent's name?
Chuck Ledbetter, Dr.
Mr.
Chuck Ledbetter.
Dr. Ledbetter.
Mhm.
Dr. Ledbetter. Very good.
Yeah.
So, TJ, what grade are you in?
I am in 11th grade.
You're in the 11th grade. Okay. Very good. And what do you have plans for the future?
Yes, sir.
I mean, the future in terms of after graduating from Dublin High School.
Yes, sir. I do plan on attending college. I'm thinking right now about attending UGA,
University of Georgia
Yes,
at
sir.
Athens.
and I want to major in biomedical sciences. I want to go into pre-med.
Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Wow. How has Dublin High School prepared you to be able to be a good student at the University of Georgia?
Dublin High School has definitely taught me to become a learner by my own self. Several of my teachers have already described how the college education is going to be and how you're going to have to educate your own self. You know, the professor won't always teach. Sometimes you have to, you know, find it within yourself to study on your own terms and
Mhm.
learn on your own and enjoy learning and further your own education by yourself.
Very good. And what's your grade point average at Dublin High School?
Last year it was a 4.0. At this point, it's I've had 1B this year, so it should drop, but only slightly.
Do you know your fellow students, Blake Richardson and Garner Gay? Do you know?
Yes, sir. I know Garner very well, and Blake, I've seen her now.
You've seen him?
Yes,
Right.
sir.
Okay. We'll leave that right there. Okay, right. Mr. Hunter, you and I spoke prior to the show about an earlier interview I did with George Roussel, the city manager of Dublin.
Yes.
And I asked Mr. Roussel in that interview what he thought would be a significant amelioration in Dublin, that which will make Dublin better.
Mm-hmm.
And he spoke about the great hope of consolidating the schools.
Mm-hmm.
And it never appeared to me at all that could be a possibility of making things better in Dublin, improving the culture, the economic stamina of Dublin.
Mm-hmm.
But he thought that it would. The city schools at this time, they're separate from the county schools. Dublin High School is considered a city school?
That's correct.
Okay. And have you given any thought to the notion or idea of consolidation of schools?
Well, I haven't given a lot of thought, frankly. It's kind of above, as we say, it's above my pay grade.
It's
If
above your-
they decide to do it, I continue to work. If not, I'll still continue to do what I do here. I mean, briefly, I guess I thought of some of the advantages and disadvantages for it. I think first we'd have to know what would be our objective in combining the school system. And I think from an economic standpoint, it may make some sense. in terms of combining some resources and maybe from that standpoint, you may be able to do away with duplication of efforts. Okay, and so that's always a consideration when you think about saving funds. Of course, the more funds that we have, of course, we can use for instruction. Another thing would be that there are some things that they're doing well at the high schools in the county that we possibly could benefit from. There are some things that we do exceptionally well here.
Give me an example of what you do exceptionally well in the city schools, particularly Dublin High.
Dublin High has a tradition of academic excellence, and that tradition is still here. So we take a lot of pride in pushing our students to achieve their full potential, okay? And so I feel that we have a very rigorous academic program here, and once we add the International Baccalaureate component next year,
really?
I mean, it's really going to be, something that's special for this entire area. And so I think we excel in that area, and most people would agree that we kind of, lead the way in that area there.
Very good. I've been out of high school a long time. I know at graduate level, college level, there's a dean of students in an educational institution.
Yeah.
In today's world, is there an equivalent at a high school? I know you're the principal, correct?
Right.
And you have 2 assistant principals?
That's correct.
Is there someone on your staff that's responsible solely for looking at the curriculum and how the curriculum meet the needs of the students? Is that you?
There are several high schools that have that configuration where you may have an assistant principal for academic instruction, and they take the lead there. However, we don't really have that configuration. We use our department heads a lot and for that, and I feel they're the experts in the area. And so we count on them and our leadership team. And the leadership team is comprised of the various departments, your English, language arts, your math. And so we come together and make decisions about the school as a group. And we also focus a lot on the academic component.
Okay.
If we had the resources, it would be nice to have just like a Dr. Susan Thornton, who is the IB coordinator, to have someone like her. Or
and what is
Claxton,
IB?
International Baccalaureate Program.
International.
Someone like her, Cindy Claxton, or someone to be the assistant principal for academics.
Okay.
That would make my life a lot easier.
Is that right?
We just don't have the resources to do that.
Okay, very good, very good. TJ, let's talk a little bit more about you. I want you to share with Mr. Hunter and myself something about your background. You're Indian, correct?
Yes, sir.
Were you born in India?
Yes, sir.
Is that right? And how old were you when you came to the United States?
Well, at first, I was born in India, but my parents were living at Jamaica at the time. They went back to India to have me born in our family. And we went back to Jamaica after about 6 months of me staying in India. And I lived there for about 6 years. And then we immigrated to the United States. We at first lived in Pennsylvania, a couple miles east of Pittsburgh. And then after about 3 years there, we went to Alabama. I lived in a suburb of Huntsville, Madison, Alabama, for another 2.5 years.
Well, there's a lot of people from Alabama here. Mr. Hunter and Garner Gay mentioned her parents came from Alabama. I did get that correct, right? Somebody from Garner Gay's family from Alabama. So you lived in Alabama for a while.
Yes, sir.
And did you come from Alabama to Georgia?
Yes, sir. From Alabama, my mom found a job here, and we moved from Alabama.
Wow. And what was the experience like when you arrived? How old were you when you arrived in Dublin?
I was either 11 or 12. I was somewhere
Somewhere around there,
Yes,
right?
sir.
Okay, right. Have you had any direct experiences with Mr. Hunter as school principal?
Oh, yes, sir. Me and Mr. Hunter are, I consider close. We've definitely talked a lot. I've been in his office a lot for positive things.
Oh, for positive
Yes,
things.
sir.
You haven't been reprimanded.
No, sir, not
Okay.
yet.
Good. So pretend like Mr. Hunter isn't here for a moment. What do you think of Mr. Hunter?
I think he's a very good leader and a very good principal, and he's very focused on academics, and he leads us forward.
He paid you.
No, but in all seriousness, the focus is on academics here, and he's furthered the school a lot, and the IB program is really going to help out Dublin, and is going to make us the very top of education in the Middle Georgia area.
Very good. Excellent. Very good. Well, Mr. Hunter, you've done quite well here.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk a little bit. Your tenure has been 4 years up until this point, correct? 4 years.
That's right. Mm-hmm.
What's, at this point, I know this is somewhat premature, but just for a moment, what would be the Robert Hunter legacy at Dublin High School? What would be that which you would leave as a trademark? What would be the stamp that will say, yes, Robert Hunter has been to this place. Robert Hunter has made a difference?
Well, traditionally, I have made my living as a change agent, both in the Air Force and also in education. Since I've been here, for some reason, that's what I've been.
A change agent.
Yes.
Do you know the name Peter Drucker?
I've heard the name.
Yeah. He's an economics and business, and he talks about the change agent.
Yeah.
So have you made changes at Dublin High School?
I've made some changes, but what I'd like to say, if I would want people to remember me for Dublin High School, it would perhaps be I was able to come to Dublin High School and, if you would, influence people and inspire the people, because I can't come to Dublin High School and do anything, by myself. Okay, there are a lot of people here that are doing a lot of things behind the scene to make things work here. The teachers, the assistant principals, the counselors, and so I think that as a leader, it is my job, okay, to basically bring people together to achieve a common objective. And so, without the cooperation and the participation and desire of the faculty and staff to move toward excellence, I would not be able to do anything. But we have people here that want to be the best. Many of them graduated from Dublin High School, and they wanted to continue at Dublin High School down the road of excellence. And so I think my job was fairly easy because I had people here who were already motivated, and they just wanted to be brought together to achieve the goals that we have accomplished. And so team leader.
Very good.
Kind of like what I would like
Robert Hunter, the team leader.
Yeah, perhaps.
Very good.
Yeah.
I have been visiting with Robert Hunter, the principal of Dublin High School, and a junior at Dublin High School, TJ. Later, we will talk with Garner Gay and Blake Richardson. The whole point of talking to Mr. Hunter and his students is to show how Dublin is a fine and wonderful city because of a school like Dublin High School. We believe in Dublin, and we certainly believe in Dublin High School. We're grateful for Mr. Hunter, who comes as a change agent to the city, and we're grateful for students like TJ, who's going to go to the University of Georgia and make us proud. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Thank you for being with us.